Imagine knowing that a high-paying guest is going to leave a completely scathing review and vowing never to return to your hotel.
Right, and knowing this before they've even approached the front desk to complain, they haven't said a word to your staff yet.
Exactly. But a system has already flagged their frustration. It's flagged it and generated a tailored solution to, save the relationship.
Which sounds totally made up, but today, that isn't magic. It's literally just math.
Yeah, it's incredible. Anyway, welcome to all the dedicated followers of the C9 podcast and our business page.
Thanks for joining us.
Just to set the stage for our new listeners, the male voiceover is Lex, and the female voiceover is Vera from the C9 podcast show.
And today, we are speaking directly to you, specifically the Australian business owners and C-level executives operating in the hospitality sector.
Because you're the ones navigating a marketplace that is evolving, honestly, way faster than the legacy infrastructure most properties are running on.
Oh, absolutely. And we want to arm you with the specific insights you need to turn that friction into an actual advantage.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really explore the AI revolution in Australian hotel personalization. But rather than just throwing a bunch of shiny tech buzzwords your way, we're looking at this through the lens of the effective decision framework.
Which is so crucial.
It is. We are taking the greatest operational challenges currently suffocating Australian hotels and walking through how to classify, define, specify, decide, and finally execute the solution. Okay, wait, let's unpack this.
So the first step in any effective decision is classifying the problem. Because if you misdiagnose a systemic issue as, just a temporary blip, your treatment will completely fail.
Yeah, you're just putting a Band-Aid on it.
Exactly. And looking at the Australian hospitality sector right now, it presents this massive paradox. On paper, it looks like an unprecedented gold rush.
Oh, the numbers definitely tell a very rosy story. The sector is booming.
A huge growth.
Yeah, we're seeing a compound annual growth rate of 12%, stretching from 2020 out to 2025. And national occupancy rates are sitting very strong, right around 71 to 72%.
Which is fantastic.
Plus, you've got roughly 8.9 million international arrivals pouring in. And tourism as a whole is projected to contribute a wow. And you combine that with the inflationary pressures hitting, everything. From commercial utilities and supply chains to wage demands.
It adds up fast.
It does.
I know.
And suddenly, those massive top-line revenue numbers translate to incredibly squeezed profit margins.
Exactly.
Now, as a C-level executive, the immediate instinct here is usually a brute force approach, right? Like, demand is high, the labor market is tight, so we just need to aggressively outbid our competitors.
Pay above market rates.
Yeah, pay more and just hire more bodies to handle the volume.
Which, is a completely understandable reflex. But throwing more bodies at this specific problem actually exacerbates the friction. It completely fails to address the root cause of the inefficiency.
But wait, I want to push back on that, though.
Okay, go for it.
If a hotel is physically short on housekeepers to turn over rooms or, front desk agents to process a queue of 50 people at check-in, surely hiring more staff is the literal definition of solving the bottleneck.
You would think so. But adding more staff to a fundamentally broken system just creates a more expensive bottleneck.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we have to properly define the problem, which is the second step in our framework. The root cause isn't merely an absence of personnel. It is the archaic legacy technology those personnel are forced to operate.
The old systems.
Right. When a new hire steps behind the desk, they aren't empowered to deliver hospitality. They are immediately bogged down, fighting with fragmented data silos.
It is like trying to fly a state-of-the-art commercial jet using a dashboard made entirely of sticky notes and fax machines.
That is the perfect way to put it.
Because you have the property management system, the CRM, the restaurant point of sale, and the housekeeping dispatch. And they were all running on separate, completely disconnected servers.
Total chaos.
It is chaotic.
Yeah.
And it forces your human staff to act as the manual bridge between these systems. They're frantically typing data from one screen into another just to keep the operation from crashing.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, that fragmentation is directly responsible for massive revenue leakage and obviously lost market share.
Because they're too busy typing to look up.
Exactly. While your staff is trapped doing manual data entry, they are completely missing the behavioral cues of your guests. And we know guest expectations have fundamentally shifted.
Big time.
Current data shows that 61% of consumers are willing to spend more on customized experiences, and 54% actively expect a hotel to offer recommendations based on their past behavior.
But a generic, disconnected legacy system forces your staff to deliver a one-size-fits-all experience.
It gives them no other choice.
Like, a front desk agent can't offer a personalized upsell to a high-value repeat guest if the system doesn't immediately flag that this guest always books a spa treatment on their second day.
Right.
By the time the agent manually digs through the reservation history, the guest is already in the elevator.
Which leads us nicely to the third phase, specifying the answer to the problem.
Right, the AI interception.
Exactly. Since the defined problem is highly fragmented data leading to an unscalable generic service model, the solution must be a technology capable of bridging those disparate systems and automating the intelligence at scale.
Which brings us to AI-powered guest personalization software.
Yes, it does.
But we have to be very clear about the mechanics here.
Yeah.
Because this isn't about buying a cheap off-the-shelf software package and hoping it fixes everything.
I'm definitely not.
The answer relies on custom hotel app development and seamless API integration. Let's break down what that actually means, because API integration gets thrown around a lot.
It's quite the buzzword.
Yeah. Mechanically, an API is basically a real-time digital translator. If your older property management system speaks French and your new CRM speaks Japanese, they can't communicate.
Right, they're completely isolated.
So the API sits in the middle. It instantly translates the raw reservation data into actionable insights so that the AI can actually do its job.
And that connective tissue is what allows the AI to function across three core pillars. The first pillar is proactive personalization.
Okay, so getting ahead of the guest.
Exactly. Once the data is unified, the AI can trigger physical and digital adjustments before the guest even arrives. If the system knows a guest prefers a certain room temperature based on their last 3 stays, it automatically communicates with the smart thermostat.
Oh, wow. So it adjusts the climate prior to check-in.
It sets the lighting. It generates a dynamic, highly targeted offer to their smartphone, like maybe a discount on their favorite cocktail at the lobby bar, rather than just a generic email blast.
That's amazing. And the second pillar is intelligent automation, which directly addresses that labor shortage we classified earlier.
Spot on.
This involves deploying 247 AI chatbots that can handle the sheer volume of routine guest inquiries. You know, what time is checkout, or can I get extra towels?
Things that take up so much time.
Yeah, which frees the front desk to handle complex issues. But it also extends to predictive staffing. The AI can look at your occupancy, cross-reference it with historical data, and even flight arrival times.
To do what?
To forecast precisely how many housekeepers you will need on a random Tuesday.
That is incredibly powerful for operations. Then you have the third pillar, predictive analytics. This shifts the hotel's revenue strategy from reactive to proactive.
Because it's analyzing demand.
Right. The AI continually analyzes market demand to execute dynamic pricing. But more importantly, it powers churn prediction models, meaning it identifies which guests are highly likely to never book with you again.
Okay, that specific function fascinates me. I mean, we are talking about AI predicting churn, meaning a guest abandoning a booking or ditching the brand entirely with up to 90% accuracy.
It's wild.
How does a piece of software anticipate human behavior that accurately? It sounds like having a mind-reading concierge in every guest's pocket. What is the actual mechanism making that possible?
Well, it really comes down to pattern recognition across vast integrated data sets. The AI is essentially looking for digital body language.
Digital body language.
Yeah, micro-frictions that a human agent would never be able to spot across thousands of profiles. It analyzes a guest's entire booking history, their navigation patterns on your app, and real-time interactions.
Give me an example of that.
Okay, let's say a corporate client usually books a stay every quarter. The AI notices they haven't opened your last 3 marketing emails. It registers that they spent 4 minutes on the booking page yesterday without converting.
Oh, I see.
And it cross-references that with their last stay, noting they logged a minor complaint about the Wi-Fi speed.
So it isn't waiting for a massive dramatic complaint at the desk. It is calculating all those tiny, almost invisible digital eye rolls.
Exactly. By weighting all of those micro-frictions, the algorithm calculates a churn probability score. It flags to the management team that this specific high-value client is on the verge of jumping to a competitor.
Allowing the hotel to step in.
Right, to intervene automatically. The system might trigger a highly personalized outreach. Something like, We noticed you were looking at dates for next month. Here is a complimentary premium Wi-Fi upgrade and a quiet room to make up for last time.
You save the booking before the guest even consciously makes the decision to leave.
Precise.
That is a fundamental shift in hospitality.
Yeah.
But, for the C-level executives listening, specifying a brilliant technological answer isn't the finish line.
Not at all.
Deciding what is the right decision for the business, which is phase 4 of our framework, means validating the financial return on investment and ensuring strict local regulatory compliance.
Well, the financial validation for AI integration is incredibly robust. Let's look at the operational cost savings first.
Hit me with the hard numbers.
By automating the routine digital inquiries and using predictive analytics to eliminate overstaffing or understaffing, properties are seeing operational costs reduced by up to 30%.
30%, which instantly relieves the pressure on those squeezed profit margins caused by inflation.
Yeah, and on the revenue generation side, the numbers are just as aggressive because the AI is delivering the right offer to the right guest at the precise moment they are most receptive.
Making them more likely to buy.
Exactly. We see overall revenue bumps of 10 to 30%. Ancillary revenue is particularly impacted. Spa bookings, room service, late checkouts, these see an uplift of 20 to 35% because the friction to purchase has been removed.
That is massive.
It is. Consequently, properties are experiencing RevPay revenue per available room improvements of 10 to 15%.
And you can see this playing out at the enterprise level right now. Like Marriott International has been using AI to process millions of guest interactions.
Right, powering highly personalized search tools and recommendations.
Yeah, and that infrastructure directly drives higher direct bookings, completely bypassing the hefty commissions of third-party travel sites. Hilton deployed their AI concierge, Connie, alongside connected room technology.
And how did that do?
They reported revenue increases of 5 to 8% just based on that ecosystem. But it isn't just the mega chains. Independent properties utilizing custom integrations are seeing massive returns too.
Oh, absolutely.
There are case studies of boutique properties generating over 11,500 euros from a single automated campaign.
Wow.
The AI simply identified guests who stayed during a specific local festival the previous year, and it sent them a tailored package to return, automatically adjusting for their known room preferences.
The end result of that level of tailoring is that guest satisfaction scores jump by 20% or more, and repeat bookings can increase by up to 40%. You are fundamentally changing the unit economics of a single guest.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. With the system tracking everything from the exact temperature a guest prefers at 8 p.m. to how many seconds they hover over an email to their historical spending limits.
I know where you're going with this.
Right. Where is the line between highly personalized hospitality and an invasion of privacy? Because operating in the Australian market, I would be deeply concerned about turning my hotel into a surveillance state.
This raises an important question, and it is the crux of why deciding what is right must include rigorous local compliance. In Australia, we operate under the Privacy Act 1988.
Which applies to basically everyone, right?
It applies to any business with an annual turnover of over $3 million. So that encompasses virtually every major hotel and resort alongside the strict Australian privacy principles.
So how do you physically build an architecture that balances that hyper-personalization with stringent legal privacy requirements?
Well, it requires a foundation of transparent consent and purpose limitation. You simply cannot harvest this data in the shadows. Guests must explicitly opt in.
They need to know what they're signing up for.
Right. They need to understand clearly that sharing their data will be used exclusively to enhance their stay. This is the precise danger of buying off-the-shelf foreign software.
Because it might not be compliant.
Exactly. A generic platform built for a different regulatory environment might not default to Australian privacy standards, and that leaves the hotel exposed to massive liabilities.
I mean, it's the difference between an eavesdropper and a trusted confidant. The eavesdropper collects your secrets without permission to exploit them.
That's a great way to look at it.
But a confidant remembers your preferences because you shared them.
Yeah.
And they use that knowledge solely to serve you better.
That is why custom application and database development is non-negotiable here. A custom build ensures that secure data management, encryption, and explicit opt-in protocols are baked into the architecture from day one.
You give the guest absolute control over their digital footprint.
Yes, when they trust that you are using their data strictly to adjust the thermostat and offer them a relevant dining experience and not selling it to third-party data brokers, they gladly participate in the ecosystem.
Okay, so we have classified the labor and cost problem, defined the legacy technology root cause, specified the AI answer, and validated both the financial ROI and the privacy compliance.
You've covered a lot of ground.
We have, but a brilliant, validated decision is completely worthless if the execution fails. Which brings us to the final phase, carrying out the decision.
The implementation roadmap.
Right. How does a property actually implement a sweeping AI ecosystem without causing their daily operations to grind to a disastrous halt?
The execution strategy is entirely about risk minimization and managing data pressure. If you attempt to rip out a legacy system overnight and plug a massive AI engine into a 10-year-old database, you cause catastrophic data collision.
Everything just breaks.
Exactly. The legacy servers simply cannot process thousands of predictive automated queries per minute. Systems crash, reservations are dropped, and the staff is left totally paralyzed.
It's the technological equivalent of trying to push a fire hose through a garden hose. The pipes just burst.
Which is why the roadmap must rely on phased rollouts driven by custom development. Custom development maps the new technology to your hotel's specific operational workflows.
Rather than forcing your staff to abandon everything they know to accommodate a rigid software package.
Right. Phase 1 might be entirely invisible to the guest. It is purely back-end API integration. Just getting the property management system and the CRM to talk safely and unify the data.
Okay, laying the foundation.
Yeah. Then Phase 2 introduces the predictive analytics for the revenue managers to test dynamic pricing models. And only in Phase 3 do you launch the guest-facing mobile app and the AI chatbots.
And running parallel to those technical phases has to be a comprehensive staff training program. Because if you just drop a new interface in front of a burnt-out front desk agent without context, they will view it as just another chore they have to manage.
Staff training is literally where the implementation either succeeds or dies. Your teams have to unlearn years of manual habits.
How do you get them on board?
You secure their buy-in by setting measurable key performance indicators for each phase that directly benefit them. When the housekeeping manager uses the Phase 2 predictive staffing module and realizes it just saved them 4 hours of agonizing over spreadsheet schedules, the resistance vanishes.
They realize it's helping them.
Exactly. They become champions of the technology because it tangibly improves their workday.
So what does this all mean? When you step back and look at the entirety of this deep dive, the most critical takeaway is really a shift in perspective.
I couldn't agree more.
There is a persistent anxiety that integrating AI is about replacing the human element of hospitality with, cold, efficient robots. But that could not be further from the truth.
You aren't replacing your front desk agents, you are rescuing them.
Yes, you are freeing them from the soul-crushing manual data entry, the endless clicking between incompatible screens, and the fatigue of answering the same 10 questions 100 times a day.
It's exhausting for them.
By automating the digital logistics, you're giving your staff their time and energy back. You dramatically elevate the human experience because your people can finally look the guest in the eye, anticipate their unstated needs, and focus on genuine, empathetic hospitality.
The paradox of AI in this space is that the most advanced technology is what ultimately enables the most traditional, bespoke human service. The algorithm handles the friction, so your team can handle the relationship.
Well said. And that brings us to a final thought for you, the listener, to seriously consider as you look at your own operations.
It's time to reflect on where you stand.
The Australian tourism market is undeniably thriving, but the window to capture a decisive structural competitive edge is rapidly closing. Your most forward-thinking competitors are already analyzing their data and mapping out these AI integrations.
So ask yourself, if you allow another lucrative peak season to pass relying on sticky note legacy technology, are you actively choosing to hand your most valuable, high-spending guests directly over to the competitors who understand exactly what those guests want?
A tough question, but necessary.
The calculus has changed for every C-level executive. The cost of doing nothing is no longer zero. The cost of doing nothing is a daily measurable loss of market share and operational capital.
And if you are ready to transform your hotel's infrastructure and secure that competitive advantage, you need a partner who understands both the technology and the unique demands of the local market.
You need the right team behind you.
We urge you to contact C9, Australia's leading custom software, apps, integration, and database developer company. Their expert engineering teams can assess the exact vulnerabilities in your current legacy systems.
And they'll build a secure, custom roadmap tailored specifically to your property and strict Australian privacy standards.
Do not wait for your legacy systems to buckle under the pressure of escalating demand. Direct your team to book a no-obligation strategy session today at www.c9.com.au.
That is www.tyc99.com/DOE. Assess your infrastructure now so you can begin delivering tangible revenue results and radically elevated guest experiences this quarter.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Please take a moment to click that follow button on our platform and share this deep dive with your colleagues, your peers, and any business owners in your network who are navigating the complexities of the hospitality sector.
It can make all the difference for them.
Absolutely. Stay curious, stay informed, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.